look at the level of competition you want to compete at. Do you want to be the big fish in a small pond, or do you don't mind being a walk-on and trying to earn your playing time? Because those might be two different paths completely. One might lead you to a big D1 school, the other might bring you to a D2 school where you're a full scholarship team record holder. Another thing to consider is what you like for extracurriculars. I loved sports and going and attending sporting events. So, looking back, I probably could have limited it down to the Power Five schools with big football stadiums that have, exciting Saturdays. Or that maybe that's just not my thing. Maybe, another example is maybe I like to ski. That would obviously, if I love skiing and that's something I'd want to do on the weekends, then that cuts out Florida schools. So it's things like that, evaluating your preferences. Think about things besides your sport, because you can really start to nail down some different schools. There's so many schools, and there's bound to be a few that kind of meet every criteria. Do you learn better in a very small atmosphere where you're friendly with the teacher, or do you not mind listening to lectures and sitting in the back of an auditorium, and are you good at consuming information that way? Because at Texas A&M, the freshman sophomore classes were giant. I was sitting in lecture halls with 400. But at Yale, where it's a much smaller school, my English 101 class was five kids and a professor. So you could see that there's a lot of differences across schools, and there's no way to know exactly what you'll prefer, but you can at least start in your head thinking about the things that might fit your preferences.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to consider too is, it depends on a lot of factors like, location, finances, family, travel, all this stuff. But especially as an athlete, you have so many opportunities to go anywhere in the country. And, it doesn't hurt to at least look, because you might find something you love. So like for me, I stayed in New England a lot, which is where I grew up. I looked a lot around there. I looked some other places, but it would have been cool to at least explore, who knows, California, like you said, skiing, Colorado, Florida. You could, there's opportunities are endless.
Yeah. And these are all things to consider. Warm versus cold. Do you mind putting on a jacket in the winter?